It's a big bridge that goes into St. Petersburg, Florida. The race itself, my first time doing the race. I want to share my experience. I want to kind of just talk to you guys about the experience. Those that are runners love running new scenery, just new races, right? And so that's what it was for me. A new scenery, never been to that part of Florida. That bridge was amazing. The construction behind it, the story. So the bridge, yeah, it's a 10K, which is 6.2 miles. I'm doing this, this race a month after I did the Miami Marathon. I did the full marathon, 26.2 miles. So I decided to do this race because I was invited by a friend, and I would say a friend because even if he's not direct blood, which he is, but like let's say he wasn't, he would be my friend. He would be a mentor. He would be someone that I would look to as a mentor, and someone that is just a great guy overall that invited me to this race, and we had the best experience ever. Because people think, oh, the race, the time, we think about all these other things, but I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't being hard on myself like I was in other races where I was worrying about, am I going to do the correct warm-up? Did I hydrate properly? Did I train correctly? Did I do all the right things to get that time that I'm going for, right? That PR. There's nothing wrong with that. Trust me. This is the first time I run an official 10K like that. Of course, running that distance is not hard for me, but the hard part was running fast at the pace that I know I want to try to beat, my PR, and a bridge that I'm not familiar with. So the experience goes, I take off, and I knew in my head, I said, okay, I have to reserve energy for the second half of the race. Once I get to the top of the bridge, I don't want to be gassed out, exhausted. I don't want to get to that point where I started off too fast, so I actually started off slow. I did waste about a minute or so because the race, you get dropped off by a bus, by the way. So the bus is dropping you off, picking you up on one side of the bridge and taking you to the other side where they're dropping you off to then run back, right? It's just one time that we're crossing the bridge, and it's 6.2 miles total, right? But the buses dropped us off early, and we had to wait for like an hour. So the point is that we were there on the bridge just waiting. So mind you, I had been hydrating. So, waiting on the bridge with no access to bathrooms. So, once the race started, I saw a lot of guys do the same thing. Just kind of got to the right when you start off on the bushes, and had to do your thing, and I did it. I did the same thing. So I wasted a good minute there. No worries. My total time, like I said, I wasn't worried about setting a PR. It's my first time running a 10K. It's a big bridge. But I was thinking, okay, if I can do 8.5, 9 minutes per mile, I'm okay with that. That's a great, performance. That's a great way to show up and kill it, considering that pace, and it's a bridge. So that pace on a flat surface, no problem. But again, and that's the pace that I hit. I finished like at 8:45 per mile. I started off, slow, but at the same time, I reserved that energy, and I noticed as I was going up the bridge how steep it is, and how your legs start realizing, oh wow, okay, this is a steep incline, and on top of that, if you're not ready for it, you're not ready for it, because as I'm on my way up, I see guys that are dropping out, women walking. A guy gets off to the side, throws up, because that bridge is okay. The intensity, I would say, from a 1 to 10 as far as what it does to you and your legs, if you're not properly trained, it will exhaust you. That's what it will do. It would exhaust you to the point where you're like, okay, I gotta walk. And then you kind of say, okay, once I go down the bridge, I let that momentum kind of take me, which a lot of people commit that mistake, and they go too fast, and they end up hurting themselves, or they end up gassing out, because you have to pace yourself as you're going downhill on a big bridge like that. So I did exactly that. I did it the right way. I was properly trained. I trained here in Clermont, Florida, where a lot of triathlons, a lot of guys come out here to train for that reason, because of the hills, the altitude, the elevation, the up and down, the The training grounds here are amazing. So you have people from all over the world that come to where I live. I wanted to live here for that very reason. Like, well, of course, other reasons, I have kids, I have a family, I thought about the schools, but all that was lining up together with the fact that, put it this way, even if I lived, let's say, somewhere around Claremont, I would come and just run here. And the fact that I live here, it's amazing. So the training paid off. My total time was, I'll post it, it was 43 minutes for the 10K, 43 minutes and 30 something seconds. I would have said 42 minutes because of that bathroom break. But hey, I'm happy. 42, I trained for it. I'm happy with the time. I'm going to hold that as my only time for now for a 10K. When I run another 10K, I'll go after, my PR. But I'm looking forward to the next race. And I just want to say something as I speak to runners and people who are passionate about fitness and health. The experience of running, it's amazing. You guys know, especially running a new experience like for myself. But the bond, the relationships, the people you meet, and the conversations you have. And here's why. When you're a true runner, and you're that 1% that runs marathons and runs long distance like myself, you set yourself apart from the human race, all the humans on earth. You become that 1%. And because you have that 1%, you're having conversations with 1%ers. So pay attention to what I'm about to say, because I am blown away by the conversations that were had before, after, during the race. And when I say during the race, I motivated people on that bridge. I was yelling at people, and people afterwards on the bus back were saying, "Were you the one yelling?" And I was like, "Yes, that was me." They were saying that was motivating, because I know we're 1%ers having a conversation that we can agree and have something in common with, which is rare. Think about it. You're 1% because you choose to become an ultra endurance. And I'm not just saying runners. I met triathlons. I met people that were there saying, "I ran this race because I'm training for a triathlon. I bike 50 miles a day, 100 miles a day. I swim." I talk to people from Switzerland, from all over the world, Canada, that they say, "We come here, we move our families just to train here in Claremont." Not any part of Florida, but Claremont. Because these are people that set, and then I know the world looks at it like, yo, those people are crazy. Running all those miles and doing all that, putting themselves through all that. You gotta be a little crazy to be part of that 1%. So with that said, my experience was amazing with the 10K. And let me know your experience. If you've done, that skyway bridge in St. Petersburg. I had a great experience. I'm doing it again next year. I invite you guys to join me. It was a great experience overall. And on to the next race. Thank you guys for watching.